Hi everyone and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect once again. It's a Tuesday and it's been quite pretty hot around Kampala. But hope you are having a wonderful start to the week. If you're new, do not forget to kindly subscribe, and if you're a regular, comment, share so that we can continue to grow. Anyways, today we'll be speaking matters on Manchester United because they do make the news for all the good and the bad reasons sometimes. It's been a couple of games for the new manager, Ruben Amorim, among which he's been able to win a few, and then he has lost two. That's two consecutive games, losing by 2-0 against Arsenal and losing by 3-2 against Nottingham Forest over the weekend. So we've sort of come to appreciate his tactical prowess in terms of the kind of football he does want to play at Manchester United. They want to build from the back. They want to be fast on the ball. They want to press that ball with a high level of intensity. Whether the current crop of players can sustain that over a long period of time is something that we will judge soon or later. But I thought we should discuss Manchester United's next 7 games that I do think will tell us more about Ruben Amorim, that they will tell us what really the Portuguese manager is really made of. So here is the next run of fixtures that Ruben Amorim will manage Manchester United over, that I believe will give us a deeper insight into the manager that he is, and of course beyond that it will inform him more about the kind of players that he does have ahead of the January transfer window. Whether they will do business in January is a question that we'll wait to answer later, but here is the one of the fixtures. On Thursday this week, that is 12th December, they will be facing off with Victoria Pilsen in the UEFA Europa League. That game will be at 8:45 p.m. Then after that, they will have a date with the rivals of Manchester City in the Manchester Derby at the Etihad Stadium. That's on Sunday, 15th December. So that means they have 2 rest days really. That's Friday and Saturday to face Man City, a Man City side that is off form itself, that has been pretty struggling over the last over the last 8 games, winning I think just once and drawing the other. They did share the spoils with Crystal Palace over the weekend there on the back of beating Nottingham Forest by 3-0 in the previous midweek. So after Manchester United, they will face off with Tottenham Hotspurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. That's on 19th December. That day will be a Thursday, and then they'll play on a Thursday and then play again on a Sunday at Old Trafford. Then that's so for the next 3 games they will be away from home against Victoria Pilsen, against Manchester City in the Manchester Derby, and against Tottenham Hotspurs in the Carabao Cup. Then they will return home for 1 game to play AFC Bournemouth. That's on the 22nd December. Bournemouth, one of those teams that has been really intentional on beating up against the big teams. They did beat up against Arsenal by 2-0, beat up against Manchester City by 2-1, and recently did beat up against Tottenham Hotspurs by 2-1. So they've been a bogey side for the big teams there. After that, they will face off with a horrible Wolves at the Molineux Stadium on Boxing Day. That's 26th December there. So that's 5 fixtures. And after that, they will return home to Old Trafford and face off with Newcastle United. That's in the Premier League on the pre-eve of the New Year's. That's on 30th December. After which, they will have a date with their arch rivals in Liverpool. That's a return leg, because remember, Liverpool beat them at Old Trafford by 3-0, if I remember correctly, and now this game will be at Anfield. So that's on 5th January. After that, the following weekend they will face off with Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, this time around in the FA Cup. So that's the run of 8 games that could tell us more about Ruben Amorim's tenure at United. Not that we will judge him entirely based on the results that he does milk out of those, very difficult games that he's about to go on to, but it will tell us more about the kind of manager he is, Given that he's managing a big club like Manchester United, uh, pressure always can easily build up really quick. Uh, Manchester United, should the results not go his way, may need to have a little bit more patience than the one they've had with their sporting director in Dan Ashworth, who they've since parted ways with in the wake of their 3-2 loss to Nottingham Forest. They may need to pick a leaf from Arsenal. They may need to have the patience like the one that Arsenal had for Mikel Arteta. I think during the 29 during the 2020-21 season thereabout, because Mikel Arteta in there had a run of 10 games in which he only won one game, beating Manchester United by a goal to nil. That goal was a penalty scored by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Old Trafford. For those of you that do remember that game, Michael Dean being the center referee, who has since, by the way, retired from officiating the game. So this run of games, when you look at the fixtures, the fixture list, it's hard to point at a particular fixture and say that's an easy fixture for Ruben Amorim. Maybe for the caliber of Manchester United, the club that they are, some of these should be easy fixtures. It's really hard for you to say that that's going to be an easy fixture. You do not know what state they will be in. You do not know if they will have a couple of injuries to deal with. Given that it's a new manager, taking on a new team, trying to teach them new tactics, a new way of playing football, the way he wants to play football, I do believe that no single fixture there is easy. On paper, we could point out a few and say maybe Wolverhampton Wanderers away at Molineux Stadium could be a fairly easy fixture. You could point to the fixture against Victoria Pilsen, that's this week on Thursday, and say maybe that's a lesser fixture as compared to the others, as compared to the one against Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester City, as well as Liverpool. Those are really, really difficult games. In Newcastle, they could really turn up on you on any given day. We just saw them force Liverpool to a 3-3 draw at St. James's Park, the same turf on which they beat up against Arsenal by goal to nil. So really, it's the kind of thing that can really give you a headache. Anyways, do let me know what your thoughts are, what your views are about those next 8 fixtures for Manchester United under the charges of Ruben Amorim. Should we judge him based on those 8 fixtures, or we should just watch the space and wait what he has to offer, see how his team evolves, and perhaps it does inform him what he needs to do or the kind of business he needs to do in January. Speaking of Manchester United, there are rumors that they are willing to let go of Marcus Rashford. They say he is not untouchable. They are willing to sell him. They are willing to take swaps. They are willing to offload him for the right price. Anthony is one of those also signaled that they are open to letting go, just as well as Christian Eriksen. So that's some of the reports coming out of Manchester United as they look forward to replacing Danny Ashworth, who has since, by the way, been linked with a move to Arsenal, because Arsenal do have that sporting director role vacant in the wake of Edu Gaspar Dawode's resignation. The reason as to why they are rumors are pointing to Danny Ashworth is because Richard Garlick, who is the managing director at Arsenal, worked with Danny Ashworth before at West Bromwich Albion, I think. So they do have a history together, and perhaps that's why the media is, quick to make the links. But I do understand that Arsenal have deployed a company to lead the role of searching for their next technical director there. So it could be that instead of a technical director, the person comes in at the level of a sporting director and then perhaps is promoted, just like the way Edu Gaspar Dawood had been promoted. For those of you that do remember, Mikel Arteta came in as a head coach, and after the first half of the season, or I think the first season, was elevated to the level of manager. Anyway, do let me know what your thoughts are, and keep it locked on the Football Tribe YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed and have a wonderful rest of the week.